What qualities do you admire about me?
I haven't even told you anything. This is my mom, Susan Guess. She's from Illinois, and an interesting fact about her is she always wins Bejeweled Blitz every single week.
That's true. That's good. That's a good fact. And this is my daughter, Morgan. She's 16, and she's from Paducah, Kentucky. And actually, my fact is something that we do together that we are known for. Do you know what it is? What is it? We're heel clickers. So when we're happy and good things are happening, we heel click. Isn't that right? It's true. All right, so.
And we have the Guess Anti-Bullying Foundation.
So, how about you pull the question? I feel like it's a game show. I like it.
Getting into character. How are you a change maker?
I think I've always been a change maker, actually. From the time I was young, I had an interest in, I always wanted to go to law school because I wanted to, I was against capital punishment. And then I think we're a family of change makers. Your dad was chair of the Kentucky Chamber Board. We both chaired the Paducah Chamber Board. We've always been involved in making a difference in our community and leadership. And that's something that we wanted to pass on to you, that we have a responsibility to make a difference, stand up, speak up, and be a part of positive change. How are you a change maker? Come on.
How ironic.
Yes. So how are you a change maker, Morgan Guess?
I'm a change maker because whenever we really started our work, it wasn't something that people were comfortable talking about. And it wasn't something that people wanted to talk about. It was uncomfortable, and people didn't like it. And over time, we were able to shift attitudes to really have a healthy dialogue.
That's right.
And I think just the ability to shift people's attitudes to really have an open conversation makes me a change maker.
That's right. And what we're most proud of? Because I'm so proud of you still, is that you found your voice. That was our goal. And you saw you could use it for good. And to me, that's what makes you a change maker. It's one person at a time, one day at a time. So I'm proud of you. And with that, let's do another question. I'm a crier. I can't help it.
You are a crier.
I am a crier.
How did you know when to step in and model versus when to step back and enable?
I think in the beginning, as we told you, we wanted to give you a choice that you could ignore what happened when you were bullied. You could blame others, or you could speak up. You could make a positive difference. And so in the beginning, it was to give you that spirit and that power to see that you could do it, but also that it's your journey and it's your story. And so while it's been a beautiful thing that we could do together, it's still your story. So there have been times we've had to step in when we feel like it was too much, when kids come to you saying they're going to commit suicide or having serious mental health issues, that it's too much for you. It's not your responsibility. And yet to see how you can take something and make a big difference on your own, I think it's a powerful life lesson and something that is a gift that we could give you. So I think it's a give and take every day to determine. But the older you get, the more we can see you can do it. So you're crying now too.
No, I'm not crying. It's just left over.
Okay.
Tell your question.
When was the first moment you realized you were a change maker?
The first moment that I realized when I was a change maker was when we were in the doctor's office. And he told me that I was emotionally unsafe and I had to leave the school. And instead of sitting back like I usually did and just letting things happen and not really saying anything about it, that's when I realized that I wasn't going to accept that. And I wasn't going to leave because I didn't think I did anything wrong.
That's right.
And then I wanted to change the system to where those kids could stay in the school and they could be safe.
And what was the first thing you did? Do you remember?
Google bully.
You did, but your first action was you created a video where you told your story. I'm so glad we had that to see the growth in what you did. And I think that's a good point because you were introverted, you'd say, and shy.
Absolutely.
And so now the growth in that is you have no trouble speaking up for yourself or others. So great job. Great job.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay.
Why do you hold it?
I
can't see
I
it.
loved it. Well, it's like you don't know what the question is.
Oh, okay. Why did you support me in my venture? Don't cry.
Okay. As parents, it's our job to keep you safe, but more than that, we want to see you become who you're meant to be. If we could take back the bullying, we would, because I always feel like you would have found a way to shine some other way. I felt like, as we do, we feel very much like God has a part in all of this, and that it came to us, and it was an opportunity for you to see that all that you could be, not only for yourself, but what you could be for others around you.
I'm going to do it like you did.
Okay. What are some things I could have done better?
I think some things that you could have done better was when we were just starting off and there were all those emails and all those questions and everything, that you would have kind of let me feel the stress of it early on. So I could kind of really guide my way through the service world, because it's an ever-changing world and it continues to become more digital, as that's an easier way to connect. And I kind of had to teach myself how to schedule conference calls and emails very recently, and I wish I would have maybe had a little introduction to it before. Nothing bad. Just
No, well, I will say there's several things I could have done better.
I'm sure it's
I think I tried to protect you too much, as you said. I think resiliency was something I could have taught earlier, although we just didn't know we'd face it so early. I think Mama Bear is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
It is a real thing. And so I think in the beginning to ask you more what you wanted, how you wanted to do things, and that's something hopefully I've learned along the way. But in the beginning, the Mama Bear was to fix things instead of to help
I
you.
needed that push-up first to put me out there, because I would have just kind of been afraid.
It's your turn.
Okay. Was there ever a moment when you realized you had to let me find my way on my own?
I don't know if there was a moment, but I saw you were ready at different points. There are times that...
Give examples. I'm actually really curious about this.
Well, I think you would say to me, without saying it because you didn't want to hurt my feelings, but it'd be like, I can do this. Or we'd be in an interview or we'd be doing something and I could sense that I was taking over and I didn't want to do that. It was like, I wanted you to be the most successful, so I find myself wanting to make sure it was. And over time, it's been 8 years, so you've been doing this as half your life now, that it's your story. You know it. And so while I love doing it with you, I know you can do it on your own. So is it my turn to go?
Yes, you can.
All right. What qualities do you admire about me?
I haven't even told you anything. I think the qualities I admire about you, I can't look at you, you're gonna make me cry, is, okay, I can't look at you when I tell you this, it's gonna make me cry, that you stood up. Like, whenever, women weren't really in leadership roles, you took those roles, and you took that criticism, you took those hard moments, because you knew that you could fill that role, and that other people behind you could too, and I really admire you for that.
I appreciate that. Ooh. What advice do you give parents to help their kids become change makers?
I think the most important part is, and we've been discussing this, joining the movement is hard. Starting your own initiative or just joining an initiative and having that team and coming up with these new innovative ideas that some people aren't ready to hear, that there's pushback. And there's always more to do. So you're just going to continue working and continue facing obstacles that you have to overcome. And I think the most important things for parents is to not lose hope. Because at some point, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And although it may just not be a big impact at first, you are still impacting people. So also just to support them and remind them that what they're doing is important even if they feel discouraged. Thank you.
Yes. And I think we've completed our bowl of questions. Yeah. So I'm proud of you, Morgan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.